Afternoon. So I've done that thing of hitting the go live button and then immediately doubting whether I'm going live in the right place. So although I'm fairly sure I am already live, it's still not telling me that I am live. So I'm going to wait for it to show me that I'm live, and then I'm just going to check that I've gone live in the right place. Um, Come on, it takes so long. It takes so long. Am I live in the right place? It's not telling me. Every time I go live, oh, here we go. That's it. Yes, I am. Good. Phew. Every time I go live, the interface seems to have changed slightly. It's very off-putting. So anyway, I am here today, unusually on a Friday actually, because I don't normally do this on a Friday. But hey, let's mix things up, to chat to you about your content and three big mistakes that I see people making, which is absolutely going to be having an impact on how that content lands and how successful it is, how much engagement it gets, and how much it actually does anything to help your business. So there are three key things that so often I see people are not doing or aren't doing right, and that is really, really going to make an impact on the success of your content. And let's face it, most of us as business owners are actually spending most of our time creating content. Creating content can certainly be such a time suck. So if you're going to be spending all that time doing it, you want to make sure that what you're putting out there is actually working, is actually doing something for your business, because otherwise that's a massive waste of time, that we don't that we can't afford to be wasting. So let me dive in with my three reasons that your content isn't landing, and of course what you can do about it. So the first reason that content doesn't work the way we want it to is because we don't have any strategy behind it. Whether you're watching this live or in the replay, I want you to let me know, give me your honest answer. Do you have a content strategy? When you create content, whether it's social media, whether it's blog post videos, whatever it may be, email, is there a strategy behind that content? Every time you create content, do you know what the purpose of that content is? Do you know how it fits in with your overall business goals? Because if you don't, that is going to impact how it lands, because content that lands, content that you see online that is doing really well, and that's people talking about, oh well, I did this Facebook post and it got me 5 new clients and all of this kind of stuff. That's doable, but it's doable with a strategy. It isn't just the words that makes that happen, it's the strategy behind it. It's the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And so it's really easy. You can look at a post and kind of go, oh well, someone's just said that that's got them 3 clients, so I'm just gonna copy that post for me, and then I'll get 3 clients. And sadly, it doesn't work that way, because you need to have the strategy behind it, and it, like I say, it isn't just the words of the post that has made that happen. It's the strategy. It's how it's been done. It's who it's been done to. That has where the magic is. So make sure that when you create content, um, there is a purpose behind it. You need to be creating some kind of strategy around your content that fits in with your overall business plan, marketing plan. And this is another thing, because a lot of people, and if this is you, you are absolutely not alone, and there's certainly no judgment here, but a lot of people don't have a marketing plan. And a lot of the clients that I work with, when we first start working together, admit to me, yeah, at the moment my marketing is pretty hit and miss. I'm just putting stuff out there, kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks, and all of this kind of stuff. And the problem with that is it's very difficult to have some real strategy behind it if you aren't planning, if you aren't planning out your entire marketing, if you aren't setting some strategic goals and then creating a plan to achieve those goals, and then building in your content as part of that plan. So you need to have some strategy behind it. If anyone's listening to this and kind of thinking, God, yes, that makes sense, but I don't really know where to start with that, let me know, because this is the stuff that I can help you with. And Yeah, that's what I do. So you need some strategy behind your content. You need to have purpose behind everything that you're putting out there. What is it I'm trying to achieve with this content? Because if you have a purpose in mind, that's going to steer what that content is and how you create it and when you post it and all of this stuff. So it's really important. Hey, Katie, it's all a bit haphazard at the moment. I definitely need to work on it. Uh, yeah, you're definitely not alone. You're not alone. Okay, so let's move on to number two. So, number two is not talking to your ideal client. And this is a big one. And this is one that comes up in pretty much every sort of top tips, blog post, everything that I do. It all comes back down to your ideal client. And Katie, you'll be pleased to know this because obviously this is where you and your business comes in. You know, you are there to help people get that clarity they need on their ideal client, and that is so powerful because literally, you know, anything I could talk about that people might be having problems with in their business, you know, can be brought back to, well, do you know who your ideal client is? Because it is so important. And the reason from your content's perspective why it's so important is because if you don't know who you're talking to, you can't say it in a way that is going to compel the person that you're trying to talk to. So, for example, if I'm trying to talk to mums in business, I'm going to talk very differently to mums in business to how I might talk if I was trying to attract teenagers or dads in business. Or, you know, and it really does make a difference to what you say, how you say it, the tone, the language, everything really, really is dependent on who it is you are actually speaking to. If you manage to create content that directly speaks to your ideal client, that is when you get engagement because they know that you're talking to them and you're talking in a way that engages them, that you know that they can see is speaking to them, that talks about stuff that's important to them, that they can relate to, that inspires them, and all of this stuff is what makes your content land. It's what makes your content engaging and you know, convert people to clients and all of this good stuff that we're trying to do with our content. So you need to know who you are talking to, and sometimes there can be a fear there. Sometimes you might even know who you're talking to but still be holding back in your content because it can be quite difficult, because when you are truly talking to your ideal client, what happens is you are creating polarizing content. By truly talking specifically to your ideal client, what you actually do is then what you're doing is specifically not talking to everyone else. So for everyone else, suddenly that content is less engaging and less, you know, they're less likely to read it and engage with it and react to it and, you know, be converted by it. And that's a scary thought. But ultimately, if we are trying to attract and convert our ideal clients, it doesn't matter what happens to everyone else. It doesn't matter if they're not engaged by it. If in fact we are being more engaging to our actual ideal clients when we speak to them directly. So that fear is often there, and it's totally understandable, it's totally natural. And sometimes it's there, you know, and it's all subconscious and we don't even realise it's there. So if you're watching this again, live or in the replay, I want you to really have a think about, is this what's happening for me? Do I know who my ideal clients are? If the answer is yes, then am I truly speaking to them? Am I speaking in a way that they will really relate to, that they will, you know, that totally identifies them in the content that I'm creating? Or am I watering it down a bit? Am I still being a bit generic? Because if you can get really, really clear and focused on who you're talking to, your content will become much powerful to those people. Okay, so next one, number three. Number three, you're not making them feel anything. This is what powerful content is. Powerful content is content that makes people feel something. And the importance of this is that actually most of us make decisions based on our feelings rather than our, you know, logical brain. You know, decisions to buy, decisions to sign up for something, decisions, you know, for whatever it is, we tend to make decisions emotionally rather than logically. We make decisions to do something because we've been inspired in some way to do it. We've been motivated in some way to do it through our emotions. So if your content isn't getting people to feel something, then it will struggle to land. So that's not to say that every single piece of content that you put out there has to be, emotionally charged and getting people like weeping into their hankies and all this kind of stuff. No, that doesn't have to be the case. But you want to make sure that part of your content includes, posts or whatever it may be that are going to get your ideal clients feeling something. So generally speaking, two really big areas in this is one, creating content that's relatable to your ideal clients, where perhaps you're talking about challenges, struggles, frustrations that they're experiencing right now, and getting them to kind of nod along with you and going, yeah, yeah. And that can be, there can be a number of different emotions attached to that. So you can do it in a funny way. So even things like memes, that's what memes are doing, and that's why memes are so popular. You see so many memes going viral because what they're doing is they're creating something relatable that people can kind of go, oh yeah, yeah, that's true. It's funny because it's true, which is the saying or whatever. Because when we relate to something, when we see something and we're like, oh yeah, I get that happens to me, we feel part of something. And as humans, we love to feel part of something. We love to feel understood. We love to feel like we're not alone in what we're going through. And so if you can create content that does that, that's really powerful content. So anything that your ideal clients can relate with and that shows that you understand them and that you get what they're going through, is going to be really powerful content, because that gets them to feel something. That gets them to feel part of something. It can get them to feel, the amusement of it. Oh yes, this is funny because I understand this. I'm in the in crowd. It's an in joke that I understand. Or it could be more so. You could get them to feel angry. You could have a rant about something that that they're also frustrated about, and kind of bring out that emotion. You could get them to feel excited. You can get them to feel happy, but just get them to feel something, because that is a really powerful thing to do in your content. The other side as well, once you've got the sort of relatable content, the other side that's also really powerful is the inspiring content. So painting a picture of something that will inspire your ideal clients. Talk about, for example, the transformation that you help people with. That your ideal clients are experiencing some kind of specific challenge right now because that's what makes them your ideal clients. So what would it look like if they overcame that challenge? What is it that they're really looking for? What is it that they want beyond this challenge? Why do they want to overcome this challenge? Paint that picture, inspire them, get them to put themselves in that, and really kind of feel inspired and motivated, because again, that's what gets people to engage. What gets people to take action, to buy your stuff, to sign up for your freebie, whatever it may be. If you can get someone to feel something, they are a billion more times likely to actually take action of the back of your content. So those are my three. So number one, make sure there's a strategy behind your content. Make sure that you're not just putting out content for content's sake. Take the time to plan. Take the time to set goals, to create a plan, and to make sure that your content has some strategy behind it. Number two, you're not talking to your ideal clients. So first of all, make sure you know who your ideal clients are. And then make sure that your content reflects that you know who they are and that you're actually talking to them, rather than talking in this kind of generic voice that we see online so often. And that example again, you could be having a conversation with your mum, with your boss, with your child, and it could be the same conversation, but you will have it in a different way with each of those three people because you are talking to someone different. And the same is true for your ideal clients. When you know who they are, you can talk to them specifically, as opposed to when you're just talking to a broad group of people. And that tone, that language, is always going to be more watered down when that's the case. So talk to your ideal client specifically. And then number three, make them feel something. Make them feel something in your content, and you will always see them take more action as a result of it. And I've got a couple of little bonus tips for you as well. So number one, Make sure to include a call to action. Give people a next step. So a call to action is simply where you're giving people a next step in your content. So, if you want people to be doing something off the back of your content, if you've created a post and you're hoping that off the back of that post, you're going to get people to book a discovery call, for example, tell them, invite them, be explicit, be obvious. And tell them, this is what I want you to do next. Give people a really clear next step, because if you don't, they won't take that next step. You need to be really obvious. You need to be really explicit. You need to be inviting people to take that specific next step that you want them to take. And so often this bit gets missed because people feel like maybe it's a bit pushy, a bit bossy, a bit salesy. If you want people to take an action, inspire them, make them feel something, and then tell them the action that you want them to take. And they are so much more likely to do it when you do that. And then my final little bonus tip is don't forget to measure your results. Don't forget, if you've set goals, if you've done point one and you've set your goals and you've created a plan and then you're following that plan, don't forget to go back and actually check if it's worked. Check what went well, check what didn't go well, so that you can then go back and tweak it and change it and improve it for next month. Because that's how content lands. It doesn't just, boom, one day suddenly go, yes, I've done it, it's all working. It comes from measuring results, tweaking them, testing things, and improving with time. By constantly checking and going back and tweaking and going through that process month in, month out. That's how your content will get better and better and better. So be patient. You've totally got this. You can absolutely do it. Stay strategic. That's harder to say than I thought it would be. Stay strategic. God, I'm going to stop trying to say it now. And yeah, your content will land. And of course, if you would like some help, putting that all together, creating that marketing plan, creating that strategy, and knowing what to do with your content so that it all fits together and starts getting you results, then do book a call with me. I'm offering 60-minute complimentary strategy calls at the moment, so I'd love to chat to you. I will pop a link in the comments. Come and chat to me and let's get your content sorted. Katie, thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Take care.